This session is Making Phones Ring with Twilio. If you haven't heard of Twilio before or don't know what Twilio is, it's really cool you came to this talk without having any idea. Twilio makes APIs to send and receive text messages and make and receive phone calls. You may also be wondering who I am. Besides the person that's wearing the same outfit in the picture and here, I know, branding. Yeah, I did switch hats, that's true. Good eye. I'm a developer evangelist for Twilio. A developer evangelist, if you want to ask me questions about that gig, feel free after this talk. I really enjoy doing it, and it's a gig I never knew existed. I also live in the greatest city in the world, which, if you didn't know, is New York City. And no booze. Just a little murmur of booze. That's good. That's good. I've gotten booed before. And I'm an API lover. I just love playing with different APIs, seeing how they work, seeing what they can help me do, how they make my life easier. So we'll talk a little bit today about Twilio and a little bit about APIs in general, too. But before that, well, API-wise is the first section of this talk. Then we're going to do a Twilio demo. It's going to be me like pounding on the keyboard really quick so you all can see how it works. And then we're going to build an app together. And this is kind of the hands-on portion. But there's a lot of people in this room, right? And there's only a few people to kind of help people get started. So what's going to happen is we're going to start building this app. And I hope by the end of it, there's teams working on the app together. So if you get stuck at any point, I'm going to ask people to raise their hand if they're not stuck. And if someone next to you is stuck, just start pairing up. And it'll be a fun way to meet new people. And then I'll talk about some tips and tricks for working with APIs. So some things I've learned along the way to make life easier. So everyone here is kind of coming with the idea of hackathons and hacking. So I'll talk about how to work quicker for that. And there's a little thing we're going to do. Ask a question, get a t-shirt. So you all like swag? Yes. Yeah, we're waking up. That's good. So ask a question, get a t-shirt. Try to ask questions that are good for the whole group. Don't just be like, Ricky, what's your favorite color? Technically, I guess you would still get a t-shirt, but everyone would hate you. So I don't know if it's worth it. How do you get a t-shirt? Eva from Twilio, she's my partner in crime here. Yes, somebody in the back.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color is clear.
Perfect. I'm
So, questions. Email Eva, esesson@twilio.com. So if you think you're going to ask a question, grab that now. If you don't grab it, Eva looks like this or like this. She's easy to find. Cool. So let's talk about APIs. How many people here have worked with an API before? Just show it. All right. Cool. So a little less than half. So first of all, I want to say APIs are not new. So they sound very cool, right? Like the branding machine behind APIs has done a really good job of making you feel like, I'm working with an API. This is awesome. An API is really just any time you're working with someone else's code within your application. So languages have APIs, frameworks have APIs. And so it really just means you're taking advantage of work someone else has already done. And it's been something that's gone on for a long time. It adds some useful service or content to your application. So the cool APIs that you hear a lot about, they're typically web APIs, and that's kind of what's taken the branding. So they let you use the web to add some service or content to your app. And the most popular design pattern is currently REST. So we won't get into REST here, but if you hear people talk about RESTful APIs or they say REST, they're talking about APIs on the web. So anybody know some APIs off the top of their head besides Twilio? Anybody want to shout some out? Evernote has an API, so you can interact with Evernote from your app. Twitter, yeah, Twitter has. Facebook, yeah. Google Maps, yes, Google Maps is a great one because it's not what you would think of as an API typically, but it fits our definition that APIs are not new. They let you interact with code that you haven't worked with before. PayPal, the great host of this event, they have killer APIs. New York Times has APIs. I like New York Times because it's like a content piece. So it's not just about taking an action, it's about getting content. So that's like kind of APIs you interact with via request. And that's what we're going to do with Twilio. There's another thing we're going to do with Twilio, which are called webhooks. And webhooks are a different kind of API. They notify your app when something has happened on another service. So as opposed to having to keep asking an app like, hey, did somebody post a new tweet? Did somebody post a new tweet over and over? You can just say, tell me when someone posts a new tweet. I always use the analogy of like taking a car ride, right? And like someone's in the back like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's like REST APIs. REST APIs are we there yet? And webhooks are like your ideal scenario where you just tell someone like, go to sleep, I'll wake you up when we get there. In real life, that doesn't exist, fortunately. In the world of the web, we have webhooks. So think of it as an inverse REST API. Just wait. Just tell them, and you'll know when it happens, it'll come. And you may often hear of this as a push API, which like the visual makes a lot of sense. So you think of it as a push notification. You don't have to keep checking your Twitter app, even though you do. You can just get a push notification. That's how webhooks work from an API standpoint. And then lastly, streaming APIs. So it opens a connection and gives you data as it happens. So when you hear real time, this is what it usually means. It's a streaming API. So the great people from Firebase are here today. Firebase is one of my personal favorite streaming APIs. So if you don't know what that means, go to the Firebase talk. Hopefully it's not happening right now. I think it's happening next. And you'll find out what it means. And then just like a tip, look for native helper libraries. We'll talk a little bit about this shortly, but like if you're working with real-time data, having an abstraction on that helps. With that, we've talked a lot about like information. Information is not cool. What's cool is demos. I know, I found this morning, and I was like, how have I not been using this GIF for like 3 years? I'm going to do this first one, like I said, and then we're going to build one together after this. So just worry about like watching and having fun here. So with Twilio, the thing that happens is that a phone call or text message comes into your phone number, and you want to tell Twilio what to do. But the first thing we need to do is get a phone number. And this is the part of this presentation where people get a little heated. Things can get rowdy. I'm going to caution you to not do that when I ask the next question. Is that a deal? Can you stay calm? What is your favorite area code? 909. People get passionate about area codes. So, 909. Oh, we get boos for 909. So we are going to buy a phone number right now, and I like to do this because I always like to show that this is real. If I mess up, it doesn't work for everybody, and there's no smoke and mirrors. So I had never seen a 909 number before. I'm still not entirely sure where. Okay, Southern California. People did get upset. They're saying it's not Southern California. Wow. So this could be any phone number. In this case, it's a 909. I did not realize it would be so controversial. So just picture in your head that this is your favorite area code. And when you set up a Twilio number, you can tell it two things, which is the URL to hit when a phone call comes in or the URL to hit when a text message comes in. In this case, we are going to be building a text messaging app. So I have this request URL, and I am going to just put in my server. I am going to save this. So this is saying hit my server when a text message comes in, again, to show that nothing's here. This file does not exist. So what we are going to do now is write that file. And I'm going to hop in Vim. We got any Vim fans in the house? Oh, yeah. And some boos. That's good. This is a very, very active crowd. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Some people are noticing my Vim sticker, and I'm getting more heat from the front row. So the way that you tell Twilio what to do when a text message or phone call comes in is by using our own kind of subset of XML we call TWIML. And TWIML is one of my favorite words because I feel like you can't say it without like getting a little smile, even if you're grumpy. So can you all just say TWIML with me? TWIML. Nice. Everybody was smiling. But it's just XML really, with our own kind of nouns and verbs. So Twilio is making a request to my server, and I want to have a response. Let me bump up this font even a little more. And I want to respond with a message. And I want the body of that message to say hi, and I'm going to give you all my Twitter in case you want to follow me on Twitter. Or if you're a little more shy, you can. Did somebody boo Twitter? Wow. And then my email. So if you ever have any questions about APIs or evangelism or anything, you can shoot me an email. And then I want to pass some media. So we're going to actually send an MMS. And has anyone seen the new Star Wars trailer? How can you not like the new Star Wars trailer?
It's this guy. He keeps booing you.
Yeah, I know. So I was pretty stoked about the new Star Wars trailer. My favorite moment was probably this, when it was like, what? And so I want to send everyone this animated GIF. And then we are just going to close out our message tag and our response tag. And you can see that this file now exists. So now we are in the audience participation part of the show. If you have a cell phone, could you please get it out? And not just get it out, but turn the ringer on. And I know you never hear this in a presentation, but turn the ringer up all the way, as loud as it goes. Once you've done that, send a message with any content to our beautiful, my new favorite area code 909 number, which is 909-212-0215. So just shoot a message with anything to 909-212-0215. So one last time, because I found saying it 3 times is the magic number, 909-212-0215. Say whatever you want. And shortly, we should hear some phones buzzing. I heard one. Somebody's quick. Got it. OK, cool. So we'll start hearing those. But the more fun thing is right now, we have to have everyone send a message in to make it work, right? Wouldn't it be cool if we didn't have to depend on the users? Oh, wait, hold on. Who's got it? Okay, we got some people. Did the GIF work for everybody? Yes, okay, good. Cool. So that is using webhooks. That's what we talked about before. But Twilio also has REST APIs, and REST APIs will let us do things like get everyone's phone number that texted in and then place a phone call to every single person. And that is what we're going to do right now. We have helper libraries in a bunch of different languages and frameworks. For this first example, I'm just going to rock it in Python. Do we have any Python fans in the house? Oh, man. Well, we're going to do the rest of this in JavaScript, so you're either going to be... So, sorry. But first, Python. Let's just not think about the future. Let's just enjoy the Python now. So I've already pip installed the Twilio helper library. That's the one thing I didn't want to make you all watch me do. And then I'm just going to import that. So we have, it's called Twilio REST Client. This will help us interact with Twilio. If you see any typos, just holler at me. Otherwise, Python will tell me. So we have this Twilio REST client, and we are going to instantiate it. You typically pass it credentials you have. I have these stored on my server because giving you all my API keys would probably be a terrible idea, especially the guy who keeps booing me. I feel like he would write an app that just kept texting me and boo over and over. So now we want to get all of our messages. So we want to call client.messages. It's an iterator. We want every message to this beautiful 909 number. Yes, a yes to the beautiful 909 number. And then we are going to just iterate over all of these. We're going to print the message ID. I used to print the message content, and I found out some people I can't trust for that, so I'm sorry. No. I learned that one the hard way. We're gonna use our client helper library to create a new call. It is going to be to message.from. So we're looping over all these messages. It's going to be everyone that sent a message. It is going to be from our beautiful 909 number. And those of you that are wise in Python, you're probably thinking like, why do I keep putting these underscores with from, right? Like that's weird. It's because from's a reserved word in Python, so we can't like name a value from or it freaks out. And then the last thing we're going to pass it is a URL. So we had that TWIML to respond to a message. We can also have TWIML to do something in a phone call. In this case, I already wrote a file called voice.xml. And what this does is it plays the Brooklyn Nets chant because I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan and I'm bringing a little Brooklyn. I know you're bringing it, right? Bring on the booze. They deserve it. They're awful. They're a really bad team. So now we're going to run this code, and assuming I don't have any bugs or typos, everyone's phone should start ringing. And when it does, put it on speakerphone. We'll all enjoy some Brooklyn together. Go Knicks. Oh, I feel awful for you. The Knicks are bad. The Nets are bad too. That sounds good. And it does one call a second, so it's going to take a little bit. We're going to go through everybody. It sounds so good in here right now. I'm just going to keep letting them go. Yeah, so it's basically reverse order. Yeah. That's. You should email Eva because that's a great question.
I made two.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, it sounds so good. This is my favorite part of my job. Like, this is what I get paid to do, is come troll you all with the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so now we're going to do, so it's cool to watch me do it, I guess, but this isn't like, HackingEDU, watch Rickey goof around day. This is HackingEDU training day. So now it's teamwork time. I also found that one this morning, and I was very, very proud of it. Hopefully, it goes better than this. So what we are going to do is we are going to build our first Twilio app. I'm just going to keep this going, because I can see you all like, I don't want to watch it, but it's so mesmerizing. I'm going to show you all how to write your first Twilio app using something called Node.js. Do people here know about Node? It's the only real dev language. Yes, that is what I hear on Hackathon Hackers. That is the saying. So we're going to do that. How many people have Node already installed on their machine? Oh, rad. A fair amount. So we are going to first give people who don't have it installed a chance to grab it. And it's actually super easy. Just go to nodejs.org, and there's a big giant install button. So while we're doing that, any questions? This is a good time to get t-shirts. We're going to have like 5 minutes of people installing stuff. So I will answer questions about anything.
Tell us about fakegirlfriend.co.
Okay. So the question is, tell us about fakegirlfriend.co. So the first app I built on Twilio was an app that I built because I thought sometimes people may feel awkward when they're out to dinner and all their friends are texting with their girlfriend. And they're like, oh, well, I've got to text with my girlfriend too. So I made an app called fakegirlfriend.co that let you do just that. And then it used Twilio, and you could show your friends, like, no, she's really here. Because I said, you know, like, hey, I can't wait to see you. And she said, love you too, hun, or whatever. So this is what I do with my life. Yeah. Others examples? Yeah, that's a good question. Other examples of what people use Twilio for. So I will do probably my favorite one from a hackathon, which is one called Cosmos Browser. So the idea was these students were at a hackathon and the internet sucked, right? Like, and we've all been somewhere where the internet's not good. And they thought, what if we built a web browser that didn't require the internet? Like, which sounds crazy, but they said, that's what we need right now, we're going to make it. And they thought, what if we use SMS as the transport layer for that data? So it's an Android app. The way it works, you type in a URL, it sends an SMS to their server, they get the website, and then they encode it and send it back. The Android app reassembles the encoded message and delivers the website to them. So that one, I think, is super rad because it was built actually at a hackathon. Oh, yeah.
So what are these numbers for? So are these the real numbers on which we can call?
Yeah, so the numbers, they are real numbers. They are, we actually buy phone numbers in like huge chunks from like the carriers. And then once you get a Twilio number, you can actually do, in the US at least, anything you could do with that number before if it was like your cell phone number. And let's say you get a phone number and you actually really like it, you could port it out of Twilio and put it on your Verizon or AT&T account. Yeah.
Can we have multiple responses to the same phone number?
Great question, great question. And hopefully as we start building, this will make more sense. But can you have multiple responses to the same phone number? So when I wrote that message.xml, it was just an XML file, right? But I did that because I'm lazy. You can actually write that in anything as long as it returns XML in the response. So if you want to write Python and have that URL we hit be a Flask route, you can do that. The only thing is that it returns XML so we know what to do. Or if you don't need us to do anything, you can just post to it. It's kind of exactly like someone posted a form to a web page. Yeah.
Are the websites going to be made, or not the websites, the slides going to be made public?
Yeah, sure. I think they're actually even recording them, so it's going to be like better than the slides. It's going to be like me making awkward jokes during the slides. Yeah.
Can you use your phone number that you already have?
Can you use your phone number that you already have? That is a very good question. For phone calls, you can. So basically, when you sign up for a Twilio account, you verify your own phone number, and that becomes what's called a verified number, and you can use that as caller ID. So say you wanted to initiate the call with Twilio, but make it look like it's you, you can do that. For SMS messages, you cannot do that. Unfortunately, that's just like a carrier restriction. Yeah?
You get involved with HackingEDU.
How did we get involved with HackingEDU? Eva, do you want to share a little bit about how we got involved with HackingEDU?
Yeah. So we like to sponsor a lot of hackathons. It's a great way of working with developers and getting to teach you guys all the cool stuff that Twilio is. Woo! Alex messaged me about HackingEDU, and I just thought it was such a cool thing that all these students from different schools are coming together, which is really what we're about, like bringing people together, communications. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and we'll also be at the hackathon in October.
And kind of like talking about developer evangelism, and then we'll see how people are doing with Node. My job as a developer evangelist is to inspire and equip developers. And it sounds crazy, and I think if my boss realizes I would do this job for free, he'd just stop paying me. But I actually would. Like, they pay people at Twilio to come and do this stuff because we believe in the power of developers to change the world forever. I fully believe everyone in this room will create our future. And so to be able to come and like hang out with you all, it's like, of course, yeah. You don't have to like twist our arm for that. Yeah.
How did you guys get involved with Twilio, like through a process of
So my personal process is I built this app called Fake Girlfriend. And it was built on Twilio, and it went viral. And from that, I met a bunch of the company. And then when I needed a job, I said, you all seem cool. Can I come work for you? And fortunately, it worked out. So to the point of like, what you do at hackathons can actually lead to building the relationships that, you know, get you your dream job.
I think it's for that question also. Someone emailed me, I'll just share for the group. I started out at Twilio as an intern. So I worked there for 3 months full-time as an intern, and it was really, really awesome. Really just great place to work. I loved all my coworkers. I loved the product and the way that the product helps developers build what they want to build. So yeah, I got converted to full-time, and I honestly know it's such a cool thing. So for all of you, I know that you're all students. We have an intern program. Really a great place to intern. So check that out if you're interested.
Cool. Okay, last question, and then we're going to try and...
What's your inspiration for discouraging Doug?
Okay, well, you all are clearly doing your research on who I am, which is slightly embarrassing. So if Fake Girlfriend doesn't seem like a dumb enough app, I wanted to make something even dumber. So I made an iPhone app that has my face and a talk bubble, and it's like a magic 8-ball that only tells you bad stuff. And it's called Discouraging Doug. And I wanted to learn iOS. Like, truthfully, I make all these like silly things, but it's just like an excuse to build on a new platform that I haven't before. Yeah. And that's a good question. That earns a t-shirt for sure. How are people doing with Node? Do some people have Node installed? Okay, rad. So if you don't have Node installed, ask the person next to you if they do. And this is a good chance to start teaming up and buddying up. That's the greatest thing about the hacker community. Everyone in this room is awesome. Start forming teams. Yeah, what's up? Yes, is there a promo code for Twilio account? Some people are working ahead, which is awesome. The promo code, if you're making a Twilio account, is HackingEDU 15, all caps and 15, like the numeric. So I think I had a slide, and then I thought they were going to email it to you, but I will make a slide right now. It is like that, HackingEDU 15. So this is the Twilio promo code, just for, we will get to that later, but for those that want it, there it is. Let's talk about Node. So we have any JavaScript fans in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nervous when people got stoked about Python that people would not be stoked about JavaScript, so that makes me feel happy. So Node.js is a way to write JavaScript on the server, and it's a great way to interact with Twilio. In order to interact with Twilio, we need a web server, and there is a web server for Node.js called Express. So we're actually just going to go to expressjs.com, and I'm going to walk you through the getting started. The lesson here is like oftentimes at a hackathon, you copy and paste code, and as like an engineer who's been doing this for 8 years, it doesn't change, right? Like every time I want to do an Express app, I just go to their documentation, follow along. So we're going to do that. The first thing we're going to need to do is install it. And I'm going to get off my server and get to my local machine. And I'm going to make a new directory. I'm just going to call it like Twilio Express. And I'm going to go into that file. And I'm actually going to make this slightly smaller, so every time I type a line, I don't break on the first character. And then we're going to run npm init. How many people here know what npm is? Okay, rad. Oh, man. You all are like way ahead of where I was in college, mostly because none of this stuff existed. But npm is the package manager for Node. So it's much like pip with Python. And basically, there's this repository of a bunch of libraries that people have written to make your life easier. Express is one of those libraries. But when we first start a project, we need to run npm init. This just sets our project up to work with Node. So we're going to run this. And I'm actually just going to keep all the defaults. I don't care about any of that. And then I'm going to call npm install express -- save. So if you like Node, if you feel like, hey, Ricky, you're just showing me Node, you're going really quick, I want the nitty-gritty details. Justin from the PayPal crew is going to be doing a workshop on Node later today, and he is phenomenal. He is just one of my favorite people in the world. Node is also amazing. So go for Justin, stay for Node. It's going to be a great time. But he will dive into some of this stuff more closely. But we're going to call the express, and with the save command basically just says, update my configuration file to make sure that every time I install this application, Express is installed as well. How are people doing? People doing okay? No? You got it? Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take a brief pause. Justin is here. Yeah. Oh, that is not legit. So I would maybe see if someone by you is. Yeah, I could just, yeah. Oh, sorry. Anybody questions? Want me to come? Yeah.
Let's go to express.com.
Hey. Oh, so that -- save just does that automatically for you. Okay. Yeah, so the instructions are like a little weird there. Okay. But did the init work?
Yeah.
Oh, rad. Oh, cool. So check this out. Open up package.json in this folder.
Did you do this one?
Or do like cat instead of CD. Have you used cat before? Okay, cool. So you'll see Express is now listed as a dependency in that package file, so that's what the save does.
Okay.
Hey. Sorry.
Just real quick, is this like supposed to like error? Is that okay? I just like typed enter.
Yeah. That should be fine. Let's look at your package.json real quick. If you do like cat space package.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Hi. Just
.json. Try npm init again and let's see. Did you have Node already? I wonder if it's just like upset that you have an old version.
How do we check if we have Node already?
So in your terminal.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't have Node.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I just installed.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's just enter through that again and see what happens. It was weird because it gave like. Okay, yeah. Actually, don't even type yes. And then see what happens. Okay, now cat to see if there's a package JSON.
should not. It should, that should
Yeah. Okay, cool, rad, so you're good. Oh, you're good. So just keep hitting enter through all that, and that should get you going. They just like want you to default a bunch of stuff. Hey. Oops, sorry. We'll get there. But yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be back. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's Oh, it popped up right when I was downloading Node. So I just clicked.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. Was this supposed to happen? Like, I just want to make sure that I did this right. After I installed this, is this supposed to happen?
Yeah. So that's just basically like saying I installed everything. Cool. Yeah.
So I'm at the npm init stuff, and this is commands.found. So I have Node downloaded in program files, and it's over here.
Yeah.
But
So you could explicitly pass the path to Node in this case. Like, so if it's like in program files, like C users programs. Sure. Yeah. That's
For some reason, it says npm is not recognizable as an internal external command.
okay. Cool. So find someone next to you that has it and follow them. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, just a few things to let you know, okay guys? In case anyone's wondering, this has to be run in your command prompt or your terminal. And then the other thing is, don't type in the $sign too.
Good.
Good. Those are good questions though, but just to let you know.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. And just so we keep moving, how many people are at this point? Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you are not there, just buddy up with someone next to you. That's totally fine, but it looks like we've got enough people to move to the next step. Sound good, everybody? Cool. And Justin's still going to run around, I think, and help because he's awesome. So the next thing we are going to do is go to the Hello World, which is under Getting Started Hello World. And we are actually going to put this code in a file called index.js. So you can just copy this. Like I said, we all like to copy paste code. That's totally okay. We're going to copy this. We are going to go to our command line. Oh, awesome. Cool. Another node helper. So if you are stuck, here's another node helper. Cool. So I just copied that code. I put it in index.js. And then I'm going to run node space index.js. That starts up my application. And then I should be able to go to localhost 3000 and see the words hello world. So that was quick, but let's walk through what happened there. Yeah. So that's a great question. The question is, do you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network? You do not, because this is just running locally. So as long as you're local, that's fine. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. How's everyone feeling? Are people feeling good? Thumbs up if you're feeling good. Okay. Thumbs down. Oh no.
I'm getting an error.
Okay.
I'm running on. I just ran the index.js file and it says throw error, unhandled error event.
Really? All right. Let's take a look.
So it's cannot find module. HackingEDU for index.js. I think he probably has the same. Oh wait, where did I? Hold on, sorry, I screwed up. One second. He has the same thing. MV index.js into Twilio app. Okay, so now it should work. Node index. So just go to index.js.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool.
I can try to help. Where you said I'll help.
Yeah.
What's wrong? I don't know. Dude, node index.js.
You feel good?
Yeah, I can help.
Cool. Thanks, Eva. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. So let's right click on it and go to edit maybe, see if that. Yeah. So in your command line, type node space index.js. So the same place that you did that npm install, just do that in the command line.
Wait, so should this be in the same place where it's
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. How's it going?
This is going really well.
Yeah, you feel good? Well, I like that people are just like working with each other. So then do the express and then do the hello world. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, Justin. Okay, so some people are stuck on how I got to this code. So how I got here was just on expressjs.com, and I clicked on hello world. And this is actually just the straight hello world example from their website. And I want to say a lot of you are helping each other, which is pretty freaking amazing to me. So not only does it make my job easier here, but it's cool that like you all learn something and then you're immediately willing to like help someone else learn it. So cool. Okay, so we only have 15 minutes left. Or wait, how long do we have left? Oh, so I have 30 minutes left. Oh, we're good then, we're good.
It's a little confused. They didn't know whether to save this in JavaScript.
Yeah. Okay, can we get a thumbs up from people who feel good? The front row feels good. The second row feels good. Over here feels good. Okay, how about over here? We got a half thumbs up. We got thumbs up over here. Thumbs up. Cool. So some of you may be paired up in 2 now. This is now the moment where you can pair up in 3 or 4, right? Like just basically keep finding people next to you who have it. And if you're stuck, just like run with somebody who's got it. People that are thumbs down, questions? Oh, sorry. Hey.
How's the code saved, right? And then when I try to run
Just do app.js, you'll be fine.
It goes to this.
Okay, cool. So this is just like something in their hello world that's weird. So go here, and then go in a new tab, and go localhost :3000.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, nice work. Sorry. Hey, how's it going, guys? Are you good? Yeah? Okay. Yeah.
Do you have some sample codes uploaded or somewhere?
You are way ahead of the class, aren't you? So go search for Twilio Node. Yeah.
Set up the piece.
Oh, nice, dude. Found it.
How does it work? Like, how can I make it?
So log out, and then when you log in, it should ask you to enter or it should send you a text message now. Okay, so if you go to Twilio Node, just that first link, these are kind of like the examples I'm going to be walking you through. It's like installing npm install Twilio, and then that example there is like pretty close to what we'll be doing.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We will be getting the recordings of this session?
Yeah, we will.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and you can email me if you like have any specific questions that we didn't hit.
Where can we access the recording from?
Right there.
Okay, so we have to wait till it gets finished, right?
Pardon?
So we have to wait till it gets finished, right?
Yeah.
Online somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're going to put it on YouTube or something, or email it out, or something's going to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Okay, let's take a look at what happens with npm init, and just enter through everything. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, nice work, dude.
And we're supposed to email you questions?
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of questions.
Are you? Yeah. So when you go to upgrade your account, there's at the bottom there is a I have a promo code. Yeah, and you have to enter a credit card, but it's just for spam perch. So if you make sure auto renew is not checked, we'll never charge you. HackingEDU 15, all caps for HackingEDU. Yeah. You working ahead?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay, thumbs up. Who's in a good place? Thumbs up. All right. Thumbs down. Who's not in a good place? Who has questions? Okay, I'll come back to you. If you're looking for something to do to get ahead, you can sign up for a Twilio account. That's one of the things that'll be like a prereq for a next step.
Promo code HackingEDU.
Yeah, change it to app.js. It's good if you get that to next time.
Hey. So where you installed Node, right, and you did the npm install, let's go to terminal there. And is that where you saved that file? Okay. Okay, cool. So do file save as for that, and put it in the same place where you installed in Express. are due, actually, yeah. So in your terminal, type PWD. So that shows you that it's in users, your name, my app. Hey, I'll be right back, okay? All right, one common question has been, where do I save index.js? And so if that's the question you have, you want to save it in the same place where you did the npm install for Express. And if you don't know where that is and you're on a Mac, you can go to the folder you saved it in and type pwd, and that will give you the full path to where that is. So if that's what you're stuck on, make sure your index.js is saved in that path. I'm coming around though. Hey, how's it going?
So I was signing up for Twilio.
Oh no.
Suspended me for suspected fraud?
Yes, I think I know what's going on. Probably because so many people are signing up from this IP. Shoot me an email. I'm just Rickey at Twilio.com. I'll get that fixed for you. Is that the email that yeah, as long as that email you send me is from the same account you signed up for Twilio, then we're good. Hey.
I don't have any service.
Oh no. That's a good question. See if you can sneak to another part with service. Sorry.
Oh, no service?
Yeah.
What happened to her? She's using a Google Voice number.
Oh, you could use it.
If you have that, you can use that.
Yeah.
They're not sure where to put in the promo codes, and I'm not seeing it either.
Okay, cool. So, if you, click I have a promo code. It's like, that button should be like giant. And then make sure turn on automatic recharge isn't turned on. We have to take a credit card for spam purposes, so someone doesn't register like 500 with this promo code. But as long as that box isn't checked, we won't ever charge you. Make sense? Yeah. Yes. So I think what happened is too many people at this IP address signed up, so it thought it was a bot. So if you shoot me an email, I'll unsuspend you. It'll be after this session, but cool. I'm just Rickey at Twilio.com. Yes.
My Twilio account got suspended.
Yes. I'll make an announcement. It thinks you all are a bunch of like crazy hackers because it's all one IP address. So it's like, oh, like 1 billion people signed up from the address. It must be a bot or something. Yeah. Okay.
Routing it over here, yeah.
Okay, quick announcement. If you signed up for a Twilio account and it says you are suspended, it is because you all are too good, you went crazy, and signed up for a bunch of accounts, all from the same IP address, and something in our database said, this must be like a hacker group. And so shoot me an email, Rickey@Twilio.com. I'll get it fixed after this. So if you don't have a Twilio account when we go to the next part, just find someone by you who has one. Cool. Thumbs up. Who's good? You're good. You've already like sent a text message, haven't you? Yeah. Thumbs down. Who's not good? Your thumbs up. Anyone stuck? Okay, cool. And then you just have to enter PayPal or credit card, but as long as that's not checked, we'll never charge you. It's just for spam. All right, people feel good? Thumbs up? Y'all feel ready to go on to the next part? Yeah? Good, good. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is update our Express app to have a endpoint that generates that TWIML for us. So before I made that TWIML manually, we're going to do something a little better to make life easier for us in the future. But the first thing we could do is with Express, we create a new endpoint by calling app.get or app.post, right? So we can call app.post because Twilio is going to make a post request to your server. And we can say app.post, and we're just going to say SMS. And then we are going to pass it a function, something that is called a callback. Yes, callbacks. If you want to know what a callback is, go to Justin's talk. We're gonna not worry about that right now. We are just going to worry about what this code looks like, which is a function here, and then we can send a response. So we could say this like I did before, and don't type this part because this is not what you want to do. But we could type out this XML, but that's like kind of annoying, right? So fortunately, we try to make that a little easier for you using our helper library. So what we want to do next, so first, so everybody got a new route written, a /SMS route. Thumbs up, feel good? You know what that does? No, don't know what it does. So what this does is we have a route here that we already use called hello, that returns hello world, right? So a route is basically a URL on your web server that when someone hits it, you do something. So for just slash, that's like root. And we say when someone goes to slash, send hello world. We are now going to do a new one that says when someone goes to /SMS, we're going to do something else. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, what about get versus post? You all know what the difference between get and post? Nope. Nope? Okay, cool. So with HTTP, there are different methods you can access URLs with. So get tells whatever URL you're accessing, I just want this information. So when we're browsing, we use get. Like that is mostly what we use. Post is a method that says, I want to send some information to this web server. So when you submit a form, it uses the post method most commonly. And there are other methods. You don't have to worry about all of those now. The further you dive into APIs, the more those methods will matter. The main thing that matters for us is that we are making a post route because Twilio is telling our server, hey, I have some information for you, some information about a text message. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
Wait, how does it work for the first route then? You're using get, but it looks like just sending hello world and that.
So, that's a great question. So the question is, what about the first route? It looks like it's a get request, but you're sending hello world. So we have two elements of a route. We have a request and a response. So the request is the information that whoever is browsing or interacting with our web server sends to us. So that's where the get comes from. The get is the request. The response is the information that we send back to that service or browser that asks for our URL. So we're almost always going to send a response.
So you're just getting the URL and then just sending a response?
Yes. So like typically this response is going to send a collection of HTML, right? Like this would really like have a big index.html. So we just do hello world to make it simple.
Can I get a shirt for that?
You can email Eva. Yeah. Cool. How are people feeling? Feel good about this new route we've got? Okay, rad. So the next thing we're going to use is the Twilio node module to make writing this TWIML a little bit easier. So we can install that exactly like we installed Express. I'm going to do it right now, and then I'm going to leave this up for just a couple minutes. I'm going to say npm install Twilio and pass it the save option. So it's going to be this right there that I highlighted. So exactly like we did with Express, but instead of saying Express, say Twilio. And then all this stuff will happen. Good? Good? Oh, now you guys are really like running. This is good. Everybody good on installing the Twilio node library? Thumbs up. Oh, lots of thumbs up. That makes my heart very happy. And then I just hit the microphone, so whoever's watching the video is going to be like, he was so happy, he freaked out. Any questions? I saw a hand. No?
It's confusing to install Twilio and then see if it's saved.
Oh, okay, cool. So you just have to rename the folder it's in.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because it's saying like Twilio. Okay, so the one issue you may be experiencing this, if it says can't install Twilio within itself, just rename the first folder. Like if you named your project Twilio, you can't npm install Twilio because it thinks like, but I'm Twilio, like, and there's like crazy recursion. You fix a bug? Did you fix a bug? Yeah. Yeah. Rad. Yeah. Oh, nice, with the client side SDK. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, please email me. We are launching new stuff in May too, so that's going to make life a lot easier for you. It's still not working even after you move that? That's a good question. I'm going to simplify this first. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Ann. Thanks. You feel good? Yeah. Okay, the thing that we are going to put inside this post request is this code, and I'm going to add line numbers so I can walk you through it. The first thing we do on line 9 is we require the Twilio library, so that's what we just installed. The next thing we do is we create a new TWIML response. So remember before I wrote that with XML and it was ugly, and like if you wanted to do anything actually with it, it would be really frustrating. TWIML response is basically an object that you can treat like you would treat any other object, and then at the end of the day it builds the XML for you. We are saying our TWIML response is just going to have a message that says, welcome to Twilio. You could do something better if you wanted. You could say, I am Groot if you're a Groot fan. And then we are going to say, we're going to send this to the browser. So line 14 is very similar to line 5, right? Like it's just saying, whatever requested this, make it happen. Yeah? Yeah, exactly, yeah. So after you've installed the Twilio library, do this. This is, since we're using this line on line 9, it's a dependency. Why do you need to use the toString on the response? That is a great question. The response is an object. So if you send an object by default, exactly, yeah.
Is there a way to access that? It's not here.
Yeah. Let me make sure I don't. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Update something, but that means it's like if I'm using a text editor, I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
So is this supposed to do anything right now? Like if we navigate, because I'm getting a cannot get.
Yes, that's a great question. That's a great question.
It's not supposed to do anything, right?
Right, because we have to do a post. Okay, that's you're right where I'm going. So. When does this end? 250. Okay. All right, thumbs up, people good? Okay. We've only got like 10 more minutes, so we are gonna go a little quicker through this last part, but please come find me if this doesn't make sense. So the first question that someone asked about this code was very, very good, was, okay, I saved this code, I ran it, and I went to /SMS and nothing happened. And that is totally true. So if we go to /SMS, we've written that route, but it says cannot get /SMS. Why does it say that? Well, because we said we wanted to only listen for a post, and our browser uses a get. So the question becomes, how can I look at what this code is doing? The first way is if you're old like me. Has anybody heard of curl before? Yeah, oh man, curl is cool. I thought it was only for old people. So the first way you can do that is with curl. So you can do a curl command and pass -- data and just any arbitrary data. Let me bump this font up a little bit and send that to your SMS route. Curl, okay, great question. So what does curl do? Curl makes an HTTP request from within your terminal. So if you're on a Mac, it's going to be automatically there. If you're on Windows, I think you have to do some magic for it. Questions, yes?
It's still throwing the error for index.js, but I have the exact same code as him and you, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Oh, yeah. I think your Node app is already running somewhere else.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's saying address and use. Okay, so did people run curl and feel good? Thumbs down on curl?
Undefined is not a function.
Oh no. Well, I don't want you to worry too much about curl because there are way better ways to do this now. And one of them is an application called hurl.it. And hurl.it is basically curl in a browser with like a GUI. So it's way better, except I don't want to chat right now. So you can make a post request. Oop. But if you do this to localhost, you will see there's an error. The reason is your localhost is only available to you, right? Like the outside world cannot see this. So you need something to expose that localhost to the outside world. That thing I will show you. I won't have you all install it, but that thing is called ngrok. Yes, and ngrok is like my favorite tool in the world. ngrok exposes your localhost to the outside world. So I already have it installed. You can install it later, but you just go ngrok and pass the port number, and it will create a custom URL for you that can be seen by the outside world. So I can just copy this. I can go to hurl it and say /SMS, I can now launch my request and see that it worked. So the last step for this application would be to take this URL and plug it into Twilio. So just like we did before, we could plug it as our request URL and it would work. But with our last 5 minutes, I actually want to close out. Well, promo code, one last time. If you got suspended by Twilio, I am so sorry. Please email me. Y'all want some tips and tricks before we close out? Yes. Okay, cool. So my #1 hackathon tip is focus on building. Don't waste time on anything other than building your application. So questions to ask yourself, do I need to even host this anywhere? Right? Like, can I just put this on ngrok and no one will ever know? If I can't host it on localhost, how can I make it easier? So can I use Bluemix? Can I use Heroku? Can I use Google App Engine? Can I use DigitalOcean? Like, don't spend a hackathon setting up a server. And I've been there. And then lastly, can I use a backend as a service like Firebase or Parse? So like, most of a hackathon is finding APIs and external services to make life easier for you. Cool. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Come say hi to Eva or myself.
There's a 4:30 node session also.
Yes, and go to Justin's 4:30 node session.